Ladies and gentlemen, women and children of all ages, welcome to Saturday Night Live, but not really. This is the Red Cup Review live on Saturday night. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Tonight I'm flying solo, and just wanted to say hello to everybody. Wanted to make sure that everybody's liking the video when they come in. Please do that. It helps a lot. And we are going to get the show underway shortly. And as in shortly, pretty much right now. So, as you can see, I started growing a beard, right? Because I was flying solo tonight, I knew I had to prepare for this, right? So what better way to prepare than with a montage the way Rocky used to, right? So right when Rocky grew the beard out, right, to fight Drago. Perfect. I had to get rid of that real quick though, because YouTube will probably boot me off with this video just for having that on. Anyways, Pon coming in, please like the video, throw a comment down so I know who is in the chat room. I can't see who you are unless you're throwing a comment down. Okay, so I want to start off by, once again, like the way I did last week, I want to give a quick shout out to my buddy Josh Galvin, who's struggling with, he's a fellow collector, for those that are new to the podcast, and he was hit by a car, and he's got all kinds of crazy medical bills and problems going on right now, and he's a big part of the creator communities in a lot of different groups. Many of you guys probably know him, have seen his name before, so go check out Facebook, Justice for Josh, no, I'm sorry, Justice for JG, damn, what was it again? Anyways, Josh should be in here shortly. I'll tell him to kind of to put his thing up. I got it here on the photos. Here we go. Justice for JRG on Facebook, and you get his whole thing. He's a hit and run survivor, and he's a fellow person in the community. Anyways, what else is going on this week, people? How are you? We are coming up on Halloween. I got my Sideshow hat on for the Spooktacular event that'll be starting on Wednesday for Sideshow. And next week, we're going to be having our Halloween show, our exclusive spooky Halloween show. So for those of you that have nothing to do, next weekend at 10 o'clock, come and join. Baz will be back on the show, and we'll be talking about our favorite horror movies and our favorite horror characters and favorite scenes from horror movies and stuff like that. We're still putting the show together, but you guys basically get the idea. Okay, so let's start the show off with the biggest news of the week, which is basically Luke Cage getting canceled. Luke Cage is canceled. Netflix canceled 2 shows within a matter of days of one another. I believe last week they canceled Iron Fist. This week it's Luke Cage. Hopefully next week it'll be Jessica Jones. Oh, just kidding. I've never watched not one of these episodes. I know that I'm missing out. I'm barely able to get through the Daredevil stuff, although I really love Season 2. Season 3 just dropped. I hear it's great, so I'll be tuning into that after I get done with Titans. Once again, for those of you who don't know, I'm more of a DC guy anyway. So, what do you guys think? How do you guys feel about Luke Cage being canceled? Personally, I don't have a horse in this race. I've never seen an episode. I hear the first 5 episodes are great, and I hear the remaining episodes are garbage. That's what I've heard from pretty much every single one of my friends, with the exception of one who thinks the whole thing is great, and most other people think that the Netflix shows just, they're either great or they suck. There's like no in between, very well produced and everything else. So if you guys have an opinion about Luke Cage, please write it. I know there's like a 30-second delay here, so write it in the comments and let me know what you guys think. And to those of you that are listening to this after the time, you guys can write a comment, or if you don't want to see a guy like me just chatter into a microphone and you're like, all right, this is boring, click next. Listen to me on the train. This works much better as a podcast or on the way to work in your car. So I'm going to give you guys a second to figure out what I have an opinion about Luke Cage being canceled. And there was a funny meme that came out on Facebook a few hours ago. Iron Fist gets canceled. Luke Cage gets canceled, and now they are actually officially heroes for hire because they ain't got jobs. Get it? So that's my opinion. I have a feeling they're going to wind up doing Heroes for Hire TV show, which is what they should have did in the first place, because I have no interest in either one of these heroes, but when they're together, lots of interest for me. Big thumbs up. So, okay, the comments aren't rolling in. We got 4 viewers. Okay, let's keep it moving. For the Luke Cage being canceled. Okay, Spooktacular is starting on Wednesday. There's a new way to win, apparently. They have this new thing going on where, like, you, I don't know. For those of you guys that watched last week's episode, I gave you the whole rundown on how to involve yourself with Spooktacular and stuff like that. I got a tip coming up for you, too, as well. there's this new way to enter, right? So the Twitter thing comes out and they're like, okay, new way to enter. So you type in and you sign up for this thing, and it's like a whole nother area it brings you to like this like third-party site that tells you, oh, you're going to be able to enter and you're going to get more chances to win. Now it's based on chances, right? And then at the bottom, if you check all the boxes, it's check this box, because you got to check all the boxes before you're able to actually join up with this third-party contest site. The last box is allow us to make posts on your account. No. So I'm not entering any type of contest they have going on with that, because I don't allow people to post on my social media, especially strangers and strange corporations and stuff like that. So that's not for me. It may be for you. You know, opinions vary, mileage may vary, all that good stuff. Okay, so now that the Spooktacular is out, oh, Spooktacular tip. This is what you do beforehand. Get yourself notes. There's like a note thing on your smartphone here. You go into notes, type in like your name, address, phone number, email, Twitter handle. Keep it in your notes. This way, when a contest goes live and they're like, okay, the first like 5 people to respond win X prizes, you could just copy and paste and just boop right into your Twitter account and press send, and you get a much better chance of winning. And that has actually helped me out greatly in the past. So I hope it works out for you guys too as well. Okay, I'm running solo this week, so I'm relying on people in the chat room to kind of keep the conversation going, because I'm going to have to go through my list here and kind of, erase things and keep it moving. There was a rumor debunked this week. The CW was supposed to have there was a rumor. Superman is coming to the CW. Now, the actor that plays Superman on the second season, first 2 episodes of the Supergirl TV show was a great Superman. As a matter of fact, he's my second favorite Superman. I know Henry Cavill's great. He looks great. He's probably the best looking Superman next to Reeve. Reeve being like the embodiment of what the perfect hero is. However, I really liked what this guy did. He did a really great version of Superman, and it was a rumor that because of this whole CW event that they have coming out, Elseworlds, which starts in December, it's a 3-part event, that they were building up to get him his own show. And I was like, oh, this is great, perfect opportunity. Why is it a perfect opportunity? Well, we're going to be jumping around a little bit right now. Other news this week, Henry Cavill, Superman, and Batman are out of the DC Extended Universe. They are now not doing Batman and Superman movies with those respective actors once again, and this was reported everywhere throughout the internet with no official confirmation from Warner Brothers or any of the actors, so take it as you will, but it's being reported by Variety and a million other friggin' places. So, it is what it is. Take it with a grain of salt. Getting back to the CW TV shows, perfect opportunity for a Superman TV show since they're not going to be doing any Superman movies. And Cavill's out once again as Superman. The Superman movies have been pushed back. The Flash movie got pushed back to 2021, starring Ezra Miller still. By that time, who's going to give a shit? We're probably going to want a different universe at that point. However, I thought he would be a great idea to have his own show. But they are not giving him his own show, apparently. And that was all a bunch of hogwash and BS news. So Superman is not getting his own show. You will not be getting a CW Superman show, although it probably would have been really great, but it would probably be too similar, I guess, to Supergirl. And they don't want to do that, so they're probably just going to run with Supergirl for now. Michael B says, hey, what's up? What's up, Michael B? The first person to comment in the chat. Kind of glad it was just a rumor, if I'm being honest. Yeah, it was just a rumor. I don't know. I like the dude as Superman. I can't stand the Supergirl TV show, although it's got probably some of the best special effects and action sequences in modern TV, especially for regular TV channels go. I can't get into the show. There's too much political stuff going on there for me. So I stick to Arrow and Flash, which still kind of rides that line as well. Okay, there's something I have to address before I get into the rest of the week's news. And that was something that affected me and the Red Cup review directly this week. And that was the Arcade 1-Up fiasco. So for those of you who don't know, Arcade 1-Up, my last video was me at New York Comic Con reporting on the Arcade 1-Up, these like 3/4 size arcade cabinets, which are pretty dynamite and dope, at least the ones that I saw. So here's the quick rundown for those of you that didn't catch my quick little live video on the official Red Cup review page. So in other words, if you guys want like little mini updates throughout the week, go to Facebook, official Red Cup review, and official Red Cup review community, which gives you guys a chance to post back to me. So yes, okay. Kev, what's up, buddy? Arcade One Up screwed the pooch. Yeah, we're gonna get into that right now. Anyways, so official Red Cup review on all social media. That's how to get in touch with me and how to follow my little mini updates because I do live videos sometimes throughout the week, like to prepare for the weekend show. Anyways, I'm at New York Comic Con. Aren't they being sold at Walmart? Yes, they are. They're supposed to be. Them and GameStop. Okay, so I'm at New York Comic Con and I'm doing an interview with Cryptozoic. I got a connection with Cryptozoic. I'm there. I'm doing the interview. And then in the middle of my interview, because I had to split it in half because the lady I was with had to go from one side of the booth to the other because there was just too many people, I was approached by the PR guy from Arcade One Up who happened to be across the street, not across the street, but like, across the aisle. And he was like, hey, listen, Mr. Rob Banks, Red Cup Review, whoever you are, do you mind when you're done doing this video to come over to our table and kind of do an interview with us? So I said, yeah, sure. Why not? Just give me a second. I had not heard of what Arcade One Up was up until that point. I had no idea what this company was. I have no affiliation with this company whatsoever. So when somebody asks me to do them a solid and come and like, hey, could you help out? I'm pretty new to this. I need content for the page. And if somebody asks me for the help because they kind of like what I'm doing, I'm going to help you. I'm just I'm a helping person. So I go across the aisle and I start the interview up. And, I'm my normal bombastic self where it's basically like Piper's Pit giving an interview, about the Arcade One Up guys. And I'm looking at the cabinets. I'm like, oh, this is pretty dope. Now, most arcade cabinets come in between $3,000 to $5,000, depending on the arcade cabinet itself. These things retail for $300. So I'm sitting there going, oh, it's a great price point, wonderful company. Go out and get one. And you guys can go watch the video and see what I did there. The sound quality is awful, but that's another issue altogether itself. The gain on this mic was jacked all the way up. It screwed the sound up, but I had to get the video out anyway. I'm going to get the video out regardless. So I'm going to take a break for 2 seconds in my story to read some of the comments because they're really coming in here now. My Street Fighter 2 monitor failed 6 to 8 weeks for a replacement. I took it back to Best Buy Deluxe today. Ross is sad to see Cavill go. However, I don't blame him for leaving. Man of Steel was a great start. Yeah, they kind of screwed him over. That's like a bad situation where the guy didn't get his due. He was really good as Superman. Look forward to seeing him in The Witcher on Netflix, as am I. Hey, all good seeing you. Just saw Halloween. Okay, cool. Comment about how Halloween was, or save that comment for next week when we actually talk about the Halloween movies, because I'm sure that's going to come up. Anyways. Okay, so I do the Arcade One Up interview. The gain was jacked all the way up on the mic. The sound was terrible. And what happened is I put it up, and I get like hundreds of views on the video and mad negative comments. People are hammering me. You're too loud. You scream in the mic too much. The audio quality is terrible, but I knew that anyway. So I'm writing up, sorry about the audio quality, audio malfunction, blah, blah, blah. People like Arcade One Up sucks. They're terrible. You should have read up about this company beforehand. It's a shame you didn't read up about them. One guy said that you shouldn't even give interviews to people who you don't know who they are or don't know anything about them. Look, I'm at Comic-Con. I'm there to get content. I'm there to report what I see to you guys. I figured if I didn't know what Arcade One Up was, chances are you guys didn't know what Arcade One Up was, or at least some of you didn't. So I'm just reporting the news. So one guy was like, this is a terrible review. All it is the PR guy. Nowhere in the comment did it say that this was a review. It said it was an interview, just giving you a rundown of what the hell this thing was. So apparently Arcade One Up is running some kind of shady business practice where like a dude in the comment section just said that he had to return it. I think that's Kev. I think that says Kev, right? Said that he had to return it because his monitor failed. Now I'm hearing a bunch of people saying that they got a bunch of lemons. Now, to my best knowledge, this is what happened. Arcade One Up was supposed to have their stuff come out in September or August or something like that. And they shipped their stuff to the stores. But what they did was they rush shipped it because according to my knowledge, the release date was actually October 15th, which was the day that the video actually dropped. I was dropping it on the day of the release on purpose. I figured that was my way of kind of like giving them a little bit more of an oomph, like, hey, go check out this stuff that's at your store right now. Okay, so what happened is that they, like any other company that shipped stuff ahead of time and knew that they were they had no business shipping it out. Their product wasn't ready. From what I could just surmise from the comments I'm reading and the reviews that I'm getting and the stuff that everyone got a lemon on this thing. A few people were actually happy with their product. So they pretty much rushed shipped their product and then basically told the stores, don't worry, just sell it anyway. will deal with replacing the parts later on. Now, the people that have been buying their stuff since that point have been getting good cabinets. People are getting, for those that had lemons, they're getting like these covers to help their the stickers from peeling off the sides. They're getting new screens, new motherboards, and the customer service, from what I hear, has been pretty good lately. Terrible initially, like horrible, like the worst customer service ever, and then pretty good recently. Would like one, but mame, mom. I'm gonna have to go look at what the hell that is up. For whatever that is, Rob Just a Fan. If you want to send me an email on Facebook Messenger, official Red Cup review on that stuff, and maybe I'll go check it out. Anyways, so for $300, what do you guys expect? And this doesn't go for the people in the chat room. This goes for people that are going to watch this later on, and for people that are going to call me a loudmouth and a big mouth from the last video. What the fuck do you guys expect for $300 on a $3,000, an item that's usually $3,000 made by hand? This is mass produced for people to have in their basement. So I'm going to play the middle here. I'm going to go on the side of Arcade 1UP and say, you guys get what you pay for. $300 is a lot of money, but it really ain't a lot of money in the grand scheme of things, especially when you're supposed to be paying $3,000 for something. I get it. However, now I'm going to take the fan side. Arcade 1UP did a stupid move. However, I do understand it from a business perspective because I have run businesses before. Unfortunately, this is a shady way to do things, and that's by rushing things and then waiting for people to return them and dealing with them after the fact. It's not very cool of them to do that. However, I get both sides. It was a shit move. But here's where I take issue with this whole thing. So I report on this, and I noticed that my video was getting a bunch of thumbs down. Now, it doesn't matter. If I get 25,000 thumbs up, 25,000 thumbs down, whatever, it doesn't matter according to the YouTube analytics. But this is what I take issue with. I noticed that once I got my first few thumbs down, videos that have never gotten a thumbs down on the Red Cup started thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs right down the list. Haters, bang, 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 bang. So to all the haters out there that want to kind of shoot the messenger, you can all go fuck yourselves. And to everybody else, I hope you enjoyed the video. And that's my Arcade 1UP story. I hope I cleared everything up. I was just there to report on it. I do not have an Arcade 1UP in my house. I sent the guys the video like, hey, here's the video I did for you guys. And all I got back was, thanks, love the video. Nothing else. And these guys were like, yeah, we'll set up some kind of business partnership. Thanks a lot for the interview. It was all bullshit. So I didn't even save the contact on my contacts list because I'm not going to be doing business with companies that are kind of like, have to hire PR firms just to make up for the fact that they did shitty business practices. Although I did see it in person. And if you do have yourself a really good version of that, it is kind of freaking nice. Anyways, moving on, I'm going to take a quick look at the comments section because I don't have the chat. I don't have some, like, it's just me working here, folks. So let's see. My protective cover came broken. Wow, that sucks. For $300, expect paint not to fade in a week. Paint was fading in a week. Wow, my monitor not to fail. $300, sort of quality control. Yeah, no, totally. Now, Kev, this is where I take your side and say, yes, big this to the company. I get it totally. That is complete and utter horseshit and should not have happened, should not be happening, especially when a product is coming out with a company's coming out with a new product and they're trying to launch something really nice like this. That is kind of, horseshit, to say the least. But I'm sure if you returned it to Best Buy, wherever you got it from, you should be able to get a brand new one. And I would just keep doing that. I would just keep playing this. Like, I'm going to build this shit in your friggin' store and I'm going to make sure it works in front of you guys. And I'd flatbed that shit out of there if I had to. Okay. I like one, but easier. Just get something else with 800 arcade games. Yes. Rob Just a Fan has a very good point. I went and got myself an emulator. I forgot what I got. Some retro arcade thing. And it was like $200 and it was an emulator that plays every single video game on the console between 1978 or 77, like from Pong through like Metal Gear Solid, the first one from PlayStation 1. So you can go and get yourself that and have it on a nice, big, awesome flat screen TV. But there's just something really nice and genuine about standing up in an arcade, right? Or getting like your little stool to sit and like put a couple of quarters up there, even though it doesn't use quarters. You just put it up there for like nostalgia reasons. And it's kind of like something really nice just to have in your man cave. I get it. So there's something really cool about that. But I get the whole emulator thing too. I went emulator route, but it is what it is. Okay, the hell with the haters. True supporters know the real deal. Michael B, always tried and true, brother. you are definitely going up on the Red Cup review Mount Rushmore. Okay, moving on. So that was the Arcade 1 fiasco and me addressing that. All right, Star Wars Resistance, new Star Wars cartoon. There are 4 episodes available. I watched the first 4 episodes between yesterday and today with my son Grayson, and here's my little quick review on it. It is really awesome. My arcade was the laundromat. Yes, Joshua, in the beginning of the show, I dropped a thing for you. In the comments, you might also want to type in your little the link for your stuff. Just want to throw it out there. So put the link in the comment section. So, Star Wars Resistance. Watched it with Grayson. What do I think about it? And I feel really bad. If my son goes and watches this afterwards, and we had a good time watching it, because I'm with him, and when you're with your son and you're enjoying something together, it makes things just that much better. He's probably going to watch this at some point and go, really, Dad? Really? You were bullshitting me the whole time? I wasn't bullshitting you, buddy. The cartoon is beautiful. We're going to start off with the positive. The cartoon is gorgeously drawn. It's cel-shaded. It's very nice looking. It's very easy on the eyes. The colors are bright and beautiful, and it's great. I actually listen to a podcast on the way to work once a week called The Cantina Cast. It's a podcast I listen to all the time where they just talk Star Wars stuff. It's 2 guys talking about Star Wars the whole show, and they did a Resistance review. I said, I got to do one for my show. Listen to it. Based on their recommendation, I went and watched it. Now, Grayson loved it. Hook, line, and sinker. He was like, wow, this is even cooler than Rebels. No, it's not. Not even close. Why did he think it was cooler than Rebels? Because the main character is very bright-eyed and kind of like, wow, gee, look, it's Poe Dameron, and oh, man, I messed up today. It's very golly gee. The main character, for those of you that have seen Hotel Transylvania, if you haven't, go and watch it because it's actually a pretty funny movie. But the main character in that, the redheaded kid that kind of gets like when he goes to the castle and he sees Dracula for the first time and all that, the main character in this is a lot like that guy, a bumbling idiot. And the show is kind of tongue-in-cheek a little bit, the Star Wars Resistance show, but the main character is really friggin' annoying. He does everything stupid. Every episode is coming across as like a lesson to be learned for kids. This is a kid show. It's very Full House. Those of you who remember watching Full House as a kid, at the end of every episode, they had to have some kind of like, a lesson to be learned. It's like this kid screws up and does the dumbest things. And then at the very end, kind of learns his lesson. And it's good in that, like, my son was actually watching it going, wow, I understand why he did that. That was a stupid move. And like, he's like learning from it. So from a 7-year-old's perspective, this show is great. So if you have kids or like a younger niece or nephew or something like that, go and watch it with them and have a blast. However, it is not Rebels. The characters are way over the top and goofy. It's like modern Star Wars, but a little bit more prequel-y in that it has like that prequel-esque feel where things are kind of a little over the top and cartoon characterish, like where the characters themselves are kind of over the top and goofy. Jar Jar Binks. So proceed with caution. Red Cup review, adult wise, I'm giving this 2 out of 5 cups because it's friggin' very well done and beautifully acted and voiced over well, but it's written like come on, guys, this is way too kiddie. However, watching it with a kid, this is like a 4-cup show because you get brought into that little kid mode and you kind of see things through their eyes and understand that while you're watching it, oh, okay, that's a good lesson to learn for them. It's cool to be able to have Star Wars for little kids to kind of learn something from. So you got to kind of separate. So that's my review of Star Wars Resistance. Man, Star Wars, I'd love to know what's happened with that Ben Vader fan film fight. I don't know anything about the Ben Vader fan film. So once again, that's another thing you guys can send me and I'll talk about because I had no idea about this stuff. Sometimes I get my information from you guys and from the chat rooms and all that other stuff we're a part of. So Star Wars Resistance, big thumbs in the middle. It's like thumbs down for adults, thumbs up for adults with kids to watch them, whatever. Okay. Let's go with the question of the week. Fuck it. We'll go with question of the week. Okay. Hot Toys Kylo Ren 2.0 has been released. That's why Hot Toys Kylo Ren 1.0 is right here. Great figure. Love Kylo Ren. Here comes the big blasphemous moment of the show where everyone just unsubscribes from the Red Cup review. And I think Kylo Ren is more interesting than Darth Vader. That's it. I said it. I was thinking about this over the last few days. I think he's more of an interesting. Is he cooler than Vader? No. 10 out of 10 times, not even nearly as cool. However, I think he's more of an interesting character. There's more layers to him. He's more dynamic, and I know more people that are like him than are like Vader. So I think he's more relatable. And the Hot Toys 2.0 release this week. Why am I bringing this up? It has to do with the question of the week. I was thinking about selling off my 1.0 to get the 2.0, because the 2.0 comes with both this head sculpt and the head sculpt to Adam Driver, which is great because I love human head sculpts, especially when Hot Toys does them really well. And this head sculpt is great. And you can have him holding his helmet or kind of smashing it even, or have it like resting by his foot while he's whipping out his saber and all that stuff. So here's the question of the week. Do you guys who are into Hot Toys, or even like Mezco's or Mafex or Marvel Legends, do you up your game every time a new release comes out? Is it prudent to buy a Hot Toy knowing that there's just going to be a better one coming down the line? And if you are like, screw it, I want it in my collection, I am going to wait for the better one to come down the line, do you sell your Hot Toy, the original, to buy the new one? Now, most people that I've asked this question to during the week in the chat rooms were like, no, I'm not selling it, because to me, it's like an Iron Man figure. It's a completely different outfit. He doesn't have the hood. The helmet's a little bit different. He has the other head sculpt that can display both of them. Well, we already spoke last week and the previous weeks before about real estate, and real estate is at a big time premium, especially when you only have so many cabinets. So do you sell your Hot Toy to buy the new one? Do you say, screw the new one, I'm not buying it or paying for it? What do you do? I'll tell you what I'm thinking of doing. I think I'm going to sell them. I think I'm going to pick up the new one just because it'll give me the option of having both. And I'll probably be able to get rid of this bad boy for about 125 to 150 bucks pretty easily. And that'll offset the cost of the new one itself. So I'm going to read the chat right now and see what you guys say. So get the questions coming in. Never. There is an updated film of the Ben Vader fight. It looks good. It's on YouTube. Okay, cool. I'll do that. I will only buy a Hot Toy with a human head sculpt. Yes. Me too. Me too, as in you'll only buy the Hot Toy with a human head sculpt, or me too in that you're going to be trading up on this fella right here? I'm probably going to be trading up. Here's another thing I'm going to be doing. I'm probably going to be getting rid of my all white Luke Skywalker when he like holds the lightsaber and then tosses it over his shoulder, because they have that crate Luke Skywalker that was announced, and that is like one of my favorite scenes in any friggin' movie, when Luke walks out to face down the First Order and he pulls out the saber and he makes a complete asshole out of Kylo Ren. Love it. They're going to be facing off against each other in the cabinet, recreating that scene, because it's one of my favorite friggin' scenes in just movies. I just love it. I've been going over this in my head because I know a lot of people don't like The Last Jedi. Whatever. You don't have to like it. That scene was friggin' awesome, and that's just what I think. Let's see. I generally only buy one version of a character except Thor. Thor is badass. Yeah, but do you buy it and hold on to your other Thors, or do you sell the other Thors and go with the new Thor? Love the Soups pose with the love the Soups pose. Wish the S was better. Yes, what they should have did with the S on this figure, they went with the S itself has the magnet in it, and it's kind of like a 3D effect on the chest. What they should have did was just went with all cloth, put the magnet underneath the shirt, and had it laying in the actual body of the action figure itself, so you could have the bullet bounce off effect anyway. But they went with like this metallic, like, 3D effect looking Superman symbol thing. You're going to wind up getting an updated Soups. You know that they're going to come out with an updated version of him. I just, is what it is. Love it. And I'm posing them against each other. And that's just, this is actually the new pose that's in my actual cabinet right now. And I just brought it to the table for the show. So come on, you Hot Toy fans. Come on, you friggin' Marvel Legend guys. Do you update your toys? Do I always update my toys? Not always. I only have one Iron Man in my collection because to me, I think you only need one Iron Man. Sometimes I just update the head sculpt. So what I was thinking of doing was just keeping this Hot Toy Kylo Ren and just popping the head off and buying the Adam Driver head sculpt on the aftermarket on eBay for like maybe 70 or 80 bucks, because that's usually what they land on. Sometimes when it's a rare figure, it's like 125, 150 even. I'm not spending that on just a friggin' head sculpt. I'd rather sell this figure and then buy the whole figure and have the price cost, offset each other. Wish Mezco did Christopher Reeve. Yeah, you and me both, buddy. And I think probably the rest of the world too. Most I sell the previous. However, with Thor, I kept both. So I guess it depends on the love of the character. Yeah, I guess pretty much too. That's the way it goes. So that's the question of the week. If you guys don't have an answer to that, write it later on and whatever. It is what it is. We're going to keep it moving along though. Speaking of Mezco figures, Mezco announced that they're releasing 3 figures in 1 week. And isn't this just friggin' lovely? Just what I said was going to happen. Mezco is doing their mad rush. Now, for those of you that don't know, and I know RC Robin knows about this, Robin Christopher Ramos in the chat room, that there's the Chinese New Year that comes in January. And it's for a month. For a whole month, China is on vacation. So all your figures that are supposed to be coming out in January aren't coming out in January. They're coming out in February or March. Okay. So what they do now is they're going to do their mad dash right before our Christmas and New Year's. And they're going to push out as much shit as they can, right before the holidays. And we're starting this week, actually. So Mezco charged me for the Alex. Mezco has an Alex Clockwork Orange figure. This is a Mezco, for those who don't know. These are the Mezco figures. They have an Alex Clockwork Orange figure coming out, and they charged me 2 weeks ago for it in full. Now, companies aren't supposed to charge you in full until the item is ready to ship. They charged you in full the day before New York Comic-Con and then never shipped it out because the entire company went to Comic-Con, which was horseshit because there was only 3 or 4 people there anyway. So whatever. So there was a delay in the Alex figure. And a delay and a delay and a delay. And now on Friday, yesterday, they charged us for Catwoman. So the black version of Catwoman is coming out this week, where it was charged on Friday. It'll be shipped this week. So hey, Mezco, what's going on? I was told, this is on me on Thursday. Hey, listen, man, I see that we have, the Catwoman charge coming on. You guys already charged me for Alex. You never shipped that out. Like, what's happening? Like, why am I getting charged for things that aren't shipping? Oh, well, here's the deal, bro. You're actually going to be getting a double whammy because of the New York Comic-Con stuff. We weren't able to ship out both at once. So next week, probably around Tuesday or Wednesday, we're going to be shipping out both the Catwoman figure and the Alex figure at the same time. So it'll be kind of like a double whammy. All right, great. Double whammy. Sounds awesome. Here we are on Friday. Now, this conversation took place on Thursday. On Friday, I get an email saying that on Monday, I'm going to be charged for Ash from the Evil Dead, which is another delayed figure. So now I'm getting charged in full on Monday for Ash, the Evil Dead Mezco figure, right? Which means that on Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to be getting, or all of us really, I'll be getting Alex from Clockwork Orange, Ash, and Catwoman all in one shot. Here's the kicker. When you order from a company, Mezco charges $13 to ship. Now, my mother's house is 15 minutes away from the Mezco offices in Queens. I'm from the Bronx, but right over the bridge. And they charged me $13 to ship this to my house. They're going to charge me $13 for each figure. So I'm basically paying $26 and $39 in shipping for something that should just be coming in one package, but it's not going to come in one package. Why? Because they're 3 different individual orders. So for those of you that want to see how a company gets over on people, 3 individual orders, all shipping the same day, but they're not shipping them together because they're 3 separate orders. Who's making out? Mezco's making out. We're also making out because we're getting the figures we want. However, we're also getting the big shaft from them because why not just ship everything in 1 week? Screw it. Hey, it's coming in off the trucks, folks, and we got to get this shit out to you guys before the new year. So fuck over the money. These things are $100 a piece. If you guys don't have some kind of deal with a comic shop or something, or somebody you can go to get free shipping on these, or some other shop other than Mezco, we are getting hammered this week, folks, and that is the Mezco news this week. So there'll be 3 new reviews coming out by probably between Monday of this week and Wednesday of the following week. You'll have 3 new Red Cup review Mezco reviews coming out. Keep it 1.0, get the head on eBay. RC Rod, no way update. I tend to get doubles, kit bash style. Woo! It's 3 now in your video. 2 days ago, it was 2. Yes, 2 days. Yes, in your video. That's right, Michael B. 2 days ago, it was 2, and now it's 3. And guess who else is late? Iron Man. So you bet your ass that, because here's another thing. Okay, in the middle of the week, Mezco did this thing where they just dropped an exclusive figure. It was a black version of Iron Man. Let me see if I have a picture here. I thought I had a picture. It was like this Iron Man figure that was, no, I don't have a picture. Basically the Iron Man outfit, except it's black with the gold, right? So it was like Mark 42 variant. So you know they're going Hot Toys with this. You're going to get every friggin' variant now from them with just different color patterns and a couple of different like accessories or something like that for Iron Man. And that's how the companies make money. We all know this. This isn't something new. They dropped it in the middle of the week. It was a limited edition run. It sold out in 22 minutes. So for those of you guys that want to get on exclusive figures, you got to up your Mezco game. This shit sold out in 22 minutes. People going crazy. Oh, another new Iron Man, boo-hoo, all that other nonsense. Where's the regular Iron Man? This variant just went on sale and sold out, but if this wasn't for pre-order sold out, this was a buy it sell out. So you could bet your butt that the Iron Man figure will probably be coming in within the next 10 days anyway. So you'll be having 4 in a month. That's right, the big 4. Wait a second. There's something else that's supposed to be shipping by the end of October, beginning of November. That's Jason from Friday the 13th. That's 5 figures. That's $500 for those of you that are paying full price for this within anywhere of 14 days. $500 bill. Not cool, Mezco. If you're going to delay something, you should at least keep them in your way. Look, the company's just going to ship this stuff out. However, if you want to go a little light on these people, for those of us that aren't doctors or lawyers, just kind of delay them by maybe a week. Let another paycheck kind of roll in before you really just shove it right up our ass. Robert Just Fan, you should do a video on display cases. They're just as expensive as the figures. Yes, they pretty much are. Display cases are pretty freaking expensive. These are actually the best to get. The IKEA Deltoffs. I don't know how to say them. It's like some German word. These are $60 a piece in IKEA. However, if you don't live near an IKEA, you're really going to get it because it's $150 for them to ship anything to you. So if you just want to buy like little dioder lights, which are like the little lights that go up in your cabinet, here is $6 lights and it's $150 to get it to you. So you might as well buy furniture and shit and get it for $150 if you don't live near an IKEA. Otherwise, get your ass in your car and drive over there. Sorry about all the cursing this week, folks. Sometimes I get a little... Okay, kind of burned out on Hot Toys, although Emperor and Mark 7 are tempting. Mark 7 is beautiful. Not Mark 7, Mark 6. Mark 6 is my favorite. That's the one I have. I updated my Iron Man for that one. Mark 7 is pretty nice. So that's the one I did have. So I sold my old Avengers Mark 7 and got the Mark 6, which was my favorite suit anyway, in the die cast and all that other nonsense. Nick Knack is with us. Plastic Planet checking in from Wyoming, Colorado border. Dedicated. Oh, my God. Holy mother of jeez. Well, Nick Knack's the man. Thanks for tuning in, brother. We are going to have you back on the show before the end of the year. I kind of want to save you for a special episode because we had such great chemistry last time. So he's in Wyoming. Where is he going? Traveling the world? It's ridiculous. Well, I'm in my basement. You guys already know that. Okay, so let's see. Is that a kit bash of Christian Bale over your shoulder? What the F is that? Yes, that is kit bash of Christian Bale as who is that? Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. He'll be out next week. Next week we're gonna have him and Ash over here out for a horror episode. So I'm kind of like, I do this little sway back and forth to give you guys sneak peeks of stuff that's kind of around me, and then they will be making appearances when it seems fitting. Obviously, we have these two out here because we're talking about Superman and Batman and Kylo Ren for the whole Star Wars thing. Is he driving? I hope he's not driving. I hope he's safe somewhere, unless he is driving. I don't know. I thought he was out with his family or something. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. Moving on. Let's see. I got to get back to the week in show. Okay, there's an Alfred Pennyworth show coming out. What? Crickets? Yes. The creator, Gotham is now winding itself down. The prequel to the Fox show, the Batman prequel show Gotham is now closing itself out with its, I believe, 4th season. I could be wrong. It might be the 5th season, but I think it's the 4th. And they're winding that down to launch the Alfred Pennyworth show. Because that's what everybody wants, is a prequel to a prequel. What are you doing? What are you doing? They cast Thomas Wayne on the show. This is going to be the adventures of young Alfred. Like, who else is sick of Batman shows and Superman shows not starring the damn heroes that they're supposed to be about in the first friggin' place? This is insane. I don't care about an Alfred show. Okay, so he's like ex-Secret Service. They could do that. It'll be interesting. It'll have nothing to do with superheroes, and I won't give a shit. So that's just something that he's doing. The wife is driving. Yes, just got out of a wedding. Nice. Well, congratulations to the people who just got married. And yeah, Alfred, please. Yeah, exactly. Like wah 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 wah. But it's news of the week, so Alfred show coming out. Yay! Boo. What else is happening this week? Let's see. We spoke about all that. Kylo Ren release, Arcade One Up. Okay. The Nightwing. Nightwing has changed his name, folks. Nightwing in the comics, Dick Grayson is no longer Dick Grayson. I think I spoke about this last week where the KG Beast in the latest Nightwing issue, a Batman issue, shoots and snipes Dick Grayson in the head. He wakes up like months later, not remembering who he is. He has no recollection. They're like, Dick Grayson, Dick Grayson. He changes his name because he doesn't remember that life and he has no recollection of Batman or, any of the Titans or any of that. So he's going off on his own. He apparently has vertigo now, like horrible, horrible vertigo, and he lost all of his old skill set. He is no longer an acrobat, and he now has to like use his detective skills. And I guess it's kind of a cool way to kind of reinvent the character, especially for a little bit of an arc run. Take, for those of us that know Dick Grayson, Nightwing's the acrobat, flipping around, kicking ass, taking names, not chewing bubblegum, wink, wink. However, he lost his ability to do acrobatics, and now he's going to go into straight detective mode. And I think he's like an underground boxer now or something like that, or a prize fighter or some bullshit. Anyways, he is done with his hero raise, and he's changing his name to Rick Grayson. That's right. Dick Grayson is gone. He's now known as Rick Grayson. Why? Well, the first reports that came out about this was saying that because the word dick was offensive. The word dick is offensive now. Dick Grayson, for those of us that are adults that can actually separate the fact that when we hear that, we don't giggle and laugh anymore because, I don't know, we're not like in the third and fourth grade anymore. So Dick Grayson is no longer Dick Grayson. He's now Rick Grayson, and supposedly DC's been waiting for years to figure out a way to get rid of the name Dick in their name. It's ridiculous. It's a slap in the face to adult comic readers and those of us that grew up with this character, because it's like changing the way we think or saying, well, we're not mature enough to really kind of separate. When I hear the word Dick Grayson, I don't think of Dick. I think of Dick Grayson. Like hello, So let's see. Comments. As for the Dick Grayson name change, I doubt it will stick. You think DC did it to steer away from the Dick jokes? Yeah, that's like what I first heard. However, they're saying, and this was an interview with the writers. And when I saw who the writers were on this, because look, the Nightwing Rebirth comic series is great. I'm like hook, line, and sinker on almost all the Rebirth stuff. And it's actually being written by Scott Lobdell and Fabian Nicieza, whatever. These names, I can't pronounce half of these names, but Scott Lobdell and Fabian Nicieza are actually known from me, when I heard those names, I was like, oh, those names sound familiar. Why do they sound familiar? Because they were some of the last writers to write on X-Men when it was really, really, really good. Executioner's Song. They wrote on Age of Apocalypse. That's that X-Men crew. Fabian Nicieza. And I think they even wrote like parts of the Phalanx Covenant when X-Men was firing on all cylinders in that weird time frame in the 90s before it sucked. But right after the 80s when it was really awesome and they kind of like carried on a little bit, right after the Jim Lee run, Fabian Nicieza took over with Scott Lobdell and they came out with some really awesome stories. So they're writing Nightwing now. Great news for those of you that like those X-Men comics. Why not give it a try? So that kind of piqued my interest. I was like, all right, you know what? I heard from these guys. They were like, look, we're just changing his name because it makes more sense for the direction we're going with the character and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw who the writers were, and I was like, you know what? I trust in these writers. They did good work with X-Men. So I'm going to give it a shot and see what it's all about. However, I do think it's kind of silly that DC put out that first statement saying that they were trying to get away from that name. I don't know if this was a publicity stunt, but half the time these comic industry people do things. It's all about the editors are like, we need something to jolt up the sales, so let's change the name and put out some cockamamie story about how we can't have the word dick in our comics anymore. Meanwhile, they have Batman with his dick actually out in comics. Batman Damned, for those of you who know about the Batman Damned thing. The Rebirth Nightwing comics have been really good. Yes, they have. So have Arrow. I'm all about the Super Sons. I think it's a great series as well. Tell us why you love The Last Jedi without anyone to interrupt you. Oh boy. Knick-knack, turn right. No, turn left. Where you go straight. Yeah, right. Okay. Why did I love The Last Jedi without anyone to interrupt me? Okay, well, I'll tell you what I didn't like about The Last Jedi, because I pretty much loved everything else about it. I didn't like the casino stuff, although I liked the design of not the design of the characters, the design and look of the actual casino planet itself, Canto Bight. I did not like that. It reminded me of the prequels. Anything that reminds me of prequels is an instant off for me. It's like everyone was excited about this new Clone Wars cartoon, and I was just like, enough. I hate that period of Star Wars. I want nothing to do with Anakin anymore. I'm sick of these freaking characters. Ahsoka is cool, kinda. When she's fighting Vader and stuff on Rebels and all that, she's great. She's but I can't take that time period. I think they kind of pretty much completely screwed it up. I'm just not a fan. Anything prequel related, I don't like. So that's my opinion on Canto Bight. Personally, I think they should have kept Finn asleep for the entire movie and had him come out at the end of the movie and go, where's Rey? And then did it, and maybe left her with some kind of cliffhanger at some point or some shit like that. So I wasn't really too happy with that either. However, what did I love about this movie? I love Rey. I love Kylo Ren. I absolutely freaking love both of these characters. And I think when both of them talk to each other and they get involved and they do that like whole FaceTime thing, I think it's great. The acting is great. Adam Driver is a freaking acting genius. Okay. See, this is what I look for in a movie. I'm watching the movie and I'm not really worried about the opinions and the direction the story is taking. Because if I don't like the direction the story is taking, sometimes I just got to go with it. So I'm like, all right, let me just go with what the author and the writer is going with and see if it's just well executed. And it was. The actors executed fantastically. Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill put on an acting clinic in that movie. It was Hobo Luke Skywalker was the best acting version of Luke Skywalker I had ever seen. I was totally on board with that. I didn't care about Rey's parentage, although I do think Kylo Ren is full of shit, and she's gonna wind up being somebody important. I have a feeling they're gonna wind up changing that. It didn't really bother me. I said that ahead of time. Even if she's nobody, I love Daisy Ridley so much, not just because she's hot, but she's such an interesting character, and her acting and emotion is just great. I love, like I said, I love her and Kylo going back and forth together. I really like the Jedi training stuff, although I think they should have gave us more of that. They should have just cut out Canto Bight and just focused solely, like they should have just kept Finn asleep for the whole movie. And they should have focused solely on just Rey and her relationship with Luke. They really should have focused more on that. So even though the movie's 2.5 hours long, I want a 3.5 hour long movie. And I want like the other hour that I didn't get with the two of them together. Okay, what else? I thought Poe Dameron was great. I don't buy into that whole, well, it's military and she should have just told him that whole plot line was nonsense. It's not nonsense. That's how the military works. That's how my job works. I work in sanitation, okay? And I pick up people's garbage for a living. When people want to know why the hell their mattress isn't getting picked up and why the hell their car parts aren't getting picked up and why this and that and why can't you pick up the wood that's not tied and all that other shit. And I go to my boss, you know what he says? Those are the rules, buddy. I have 14 years on the job. I have 6 more years until retirement. Guess what? I'm a veteran of the job. You know what my bosses tell me? That's just the way it is, pal. Follow your orders. That's how and sanitation is paramilitary. That's how a military organization is run. Let's not forget that Poe Dameron opens up the movie doing that great scene where he's just taking everybody out, shows you how awesome he is. It's consistent with his character because the first time he met Kylo Ren, he basically told him, well, who talks first? Blah, 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 blah. And he does that stupid joke on him. So it's part of who he is to be a little bit of a jokester and a maverick, a wild card type of guy. So then, by the way, if you guys don't want to hear any more of this, I'm kind of doing this for RC Robin. Just please tell me enough of The Last Jedi and I'll keep it moving. I don't want to bore you guys with this stuff. Okay, so anyways, the getting back to it. Okay, so he attacks, he does his thing. The Empire is kind of, well, the First Order looks a little kind of stupid. Yeah, they should have looked a little bit more intimidating and not made so much of an asshole out of them. Like the pilot should have been able to kick their asses a little bit, but then kind of maybe get shot down or something, like, but the entire rest of their fleet gets obliterated anyway. Oh, why don't missiles fall out in gravity in space? It's called objects that are in motion stay in motion. This is physics 101. There's a guy online that my buddy Baz, the guy that's on the show with me, was like, yo, you need to watch this review because he loved The Last Jedi and then he hated it after he watched it a second time. And he was like, I thought about it. The movie sucked, blah, blah, blah. I hated all the decisions they made. And he sent me a video from a YouTube reviewer. His name eludes me right now. And he's a famous YouTube guy, not super famous, but he's like famous in like our kind of circle. And he was like, oh, the first thing he said in his review was the bombers, and it makes no sense. And they would just float away in space. Apparently, you've never gone to school, buddy, because objects that stay in motion, are in motion, stay in motion. So if you're in outer space and you take a phone and you do this, flip it, it's going to go. And it's going to keep going and keep going. So if there's a gravitational field inside those ships and the bombs are dropping, They're going to continue to drop. That's just how it goes. But enough on the bomb dropping stuff. The long space chase thing, the short but long space chase thing, I thought was kind of cool because it was just something different that we hadn't seen before. Them using the light speed at the end of the movie to go through the thing. Why didn't they always use that? That's just fanboy crying outrage nonsense. You can't have droids cannot calculate hyperspace. You need to have a pilot on the ship as well. To my knowledge, I could be wrong about this. You still need a pilot in the ship. Plus, we get to know during the whole Canto Bight scene that everyone hates that the rebels don't have that much money. The Resistance and the First Order, they just don't got it together like that, where they could just send ships through other ships and kamikaze things. Can't do it. It's a fantasy movie, and it was a shout out to old serials of the original Star Wars trilogy was based on old serials, just like the Indiana Jones was from the 1950s and 60s. That's where George Lucas got his ideas from. This was a throwback to that. A wink, wink. You know, just go with it, everybody. If you hated the movie for the decisions they made, thumbs up. I get it totally. However, I like the decisions that were made. I thought that Luke not being there, and Luke would never do that. That's not my Luke. The best thing Luke ever did, his greatest claim to fame, was throwing his lightsaber away and telling the Emperor, nah, I'm not a fighter. That's not the Jedi way. That's the greatest thing he ever did. Not kicking ass, not doing all kinds of crazy flips and all that other nonsense that the Jedi did in the prequels. Luke's greatest thing was dropping the lightsaber and saying no and walking away. So he gives it up. Maybe Luke had so much power. Maybe Luke went evil. First of all, Luke goes evil in the original trilogy. For anybody that hasn't seen Return of the Jedi, go watch it again, because the minute Vader mentions Luke's sister and turning her to the dark side, Luke then channels the dark side and almost kills Vader, thereby fulfilling the Emperor's prophecy. He's able to bring himself to the ledge and walk himself back and drop the lightsaber and say, oh no, fuck this. I'm not doing it. And then he almost gets killed and he needs his father to save his ass anyway. So that's what Luke is. Luke, then, we don't see him for 30 years. It's been 30 years since we've seen this guy. Who knows what's happened between now and then? Luke stands over Kylo Ren, sees him turning into a new Vader, and has a second of turning his lightsaber on and then going, oh shit, I'm right at the edge again. So Luke does not have control over the Force the way we all imagine him to. He's not this great, all-knowing, all-powerful space Jesus. He's just really fucking awesome and a cool, interesting character. So Luke goes, forget it. And proverbially, the way he did in The Last Jedi, the way he dropped his lightsaber in Return of the Jedi and walked away to not kill Vader, he dropped the Force and walked away in The Last Jedi and said, nope, not doing it. That's Luke. So the writing is correct. Then he gets a change of heart and comes back and does the most diesel shit you could ever imagine. The guy interacts with people, a Force ghost, a Force projector that actually interacts with people, touches people, tricks an army of people. Everyone, they see him. He's there. And he's there for a while. And they mentioned earlier in the movie, and I know Robin Ramos is a big fan of this, where they kind of drop a little seed, planting seeds, and then seeing the end of the movie or the end of the book, the seeds growing. Kylo Ren mentions, how are you able to do this to Rey when they're in the room together, Force projecting? He's like, there's no way you can do this. The sheer will kill you. Luke is so powerful that he's able to do it and sustain it. And then he dies beautifully, staring off into the sunset. The first time we see Luke, he's staring off the twin suns, wanting a better life for himself on the farm. And then we see him go out the same way. It is beautiful, it is poetic, and it is a perfect end to the Luke Skywalker character. For those of you that really want him to march out there and start crushing AT-ATs and doing all that twirly-whirly Yoda garbage that he did in the prequels, come on, guys. Adventure, excitement, that is not the Jedi way. So that is my take on The Last Jedi. And I really love the way they ended the movie, although I thought it was not a good way to end this movie, which was the broom boy grabbing the broom and kind of holding it up. I think they should have ended the entire series with that, because that's a perfect throw. We were all there. We were all 6 and 7 years old with Forget broom handles. How about the inside of those tubes at Christmas time when like our parents would wrap up presents and then have like those long cylindrical like the the inside of like a paper towel roll, and we would use those to just beat on each other with as our lightsabers. For those of us that couldn't afford lightsabers, I didn't have them. That's what we used in my house, and it was a perfect throwback. It made me smile and think of my youth. There's nothing better than the fountain of youth or a taste of it therein. So that is my uninterrupted view of The Last Jedi, and you'll get to see Baza and probably Nick Nack make fun of me in a few weeks if Nick Nack decides to join us on that show, or Baza will just friggin' attack me outright and say everything that I just said and say everything that you just said that just came out of your mouth is 100% wrong, to quote Luke. He'll probably do the same thing. Archie, damn, so sorry, so late. What's up, Rob? What's up, Archie? Listen, Archie, you have to check your Facebook Messenger. I wrote you a message. I'm trying to get in contact with you, and I sent you a friend request on Facebook. So accept the friend request, check the message, and then reply back to me. It's about trying to get you on the show. Agree or disagree with Banks? That analysis was awesome. Use the Force. Yes, thank you very much. I'm getting old school stuff. The new stuff is not the heroes I know. DC and Marvel, BSG, Flash, Gordon, Buck Rogers, etc. MCU needs to be faithful to the heroes so far. Seems to be faithful to the heroes so far. Yes, they definitely are. I love what the MCU is doing, and I'm a DC guy, and I totally am in love with them. By the way, I have the gain turned up on this mic a little bit, so if you guys are hearing me, say, hey, you guys sound like shit, Banks, lower the volume or raise it. I need your help this week. I don't have my my co-pilot. Let's see. Okay, no problem. Yes, Archie, awesome. Thank you for. I understand change, but not changing to the point you don't have the character anymore. Well, that's just it. We're not the same people we were 30 years ago. Now, 30 years ago, I was 6 years old. Okay, so I'm definitely not the same person I was back then. Luke is 64, 65 years old. I believe he's like 64 or 65. He's not the same character he was when he was in his 30s. We're not. We're different. We change. Really messed up shit can happen to us. You could be the happiest man one day, unfortunately lose your wife or your life the next, lose a family member, get into a car accident. Unfortunately, I hate to bring the show down with this. I'm going to bring it back up, though, for the end. Get into a car accident. People back in the day were happy-go-lucky kids that got drafted into, Vietnam. And when they came out, they had post-traumatic stress and it completely fucked their lives up. They're just people. We want to look at them as more than people, and I do too. But Luke really didn't change all that much. He just failed, and failure is okay. This movie was really about failing and being okay with failing. It's okay to fail because Luke is coming back, and he's going to come back as a Force ghost, and he's going to kick ass. And everything's going to be right with the world again. I promise you that. And then everyone's going to look back at The Last Jedi and say, you know what? The Last Jedi wasn't that bad. I didn't like it for a while. But now I saw the new movie and I saw Luke come back and redeem himself, even if he did it in Force Ghost. You strike me down, Lord Vader, and I will become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Strikes him down. Then we just see him as a Force ghost. 30 years later, Yoda shows up and is now causing lightning to fall out of the sky with a flick of his finger. Luke did something Yoda couldn't do. He force projected himself across a galaxy and took on the First Order and tricked everybody, killing himself in the process to save and reignite the Resistance. If Yoda is calling down lightning from the skies from beyond the grave, I'm telling you right now, Luke is going to be taking Star Destroyers and shoving them right up Kylo Ren's ass. Telling you, it's coming. Relax. This is the Empire Strikes Back. It didn't end the way Empire did, where the good guys lose. The good guys still kind of won in this one, which was a little weird. I thought they should have ended on kind of like a more ambiguity, of like, did the good guys win? Did they not? Luke's dead. The Resistance kind of has some hope. There's only a few people left. What's going to happen to them? Telling you, this next movie you have J.J. Abrams back. He's going to bring it back. I know a lot of people that like The Force Awakens. A lot of people that didn't like The Force Awakens, their biggest argument was it was too much like A New Hope. Well, let's see. A New Hope was awesome. So is The Force Awakens. And yeah, it has similarities in the movies, but they were awesome. The new fighter pilot guy, his name eludes. I'm on a roll here, folks. So help me out. The new fighter pilot guy, awesome character. It's cool to see. We all wanted to see Wedge, right? Back in the day, Wedge is the background guy we don't get to see. He's Luke's, wingman that is always survives all the movies. But what would his story be like? You have your Wedge. You have a new Force user that's actually a very interesting character. And I'm telling you, JJ has these things called mystery boxes, and you are going to get a lot of those answers. JJ is back. He is not going to let us down. At least I don't think so, because I have hope. And Luke gave me that hope. And them hiring JJ back gave me that hope. Did I think Rian Johnson did a perfect job? No. He made a really good movie. He made a really good movie in that the movie was competent. It was beautifully shot. The score was great. The characters were great. It had some of the best dialogue. It has my second favorite line in all of Star Wars. When Yoda is talking to Luke, and Luke's talking about his failures, and Yoda turns to him and says, we become what they grow past, or something like that, right? Doesn't he say something like, unfortunately, the sadness of being the master is watching your student grow beyond you, and you feel useless. You feel like you failed, but you have to let them go out on their own. For those of you that have kids or have nieces and nephews, brothers and sisters that have kids, have cousins that have kids and stuff like that, and you're watching and living vicariously through them, or you're a parent yourself, eventually you're going out to pasture like old Yeller, buddy. I got news for you. Our time's over. It's time for the next generation. And it kind of brought a smile to my face and made me think of my own children and thinking about how I have to do my best job for them, how you can't fail them. And in that moment of trying to bring yourself to the edge and trying to bring yourself back the way Luke did with Kylo, in an instant can change somebody's life. It was fantastic writing. The choices that were made, you may not agree with, and that is cool. I'm not here to make you like the movie. I'm here to show you what the Red Cup Review thinks of the movie, as asked by Robin Ramos. Thank you. You sound great. Volume's fine. Awesome. Okay, let's see. Superman isn't black. Black Panther isn't white. Keep characters true to who they are. Yes, I get it. I understand that. I get it. I get it. I finally made it to one of these things. Oh, Specialty. Hey, what's up, buddy? My first question will be, what's your favorite superhero movie live action? Yes, Poe Dameron. Thank you very much. Okay. My favorite superhero movie live action is The Dark Knight, but I don't consider it a superhero movie, so it's not a true answer. To me, The Dark Knight trilogy, although it has a superhero in it, isn't really a superhero movie. It's more like an extended, awesome version of NCIS with a guy in a costume with ears on it. He's not, doing the typical Batman thing where he's like swinging from rooftops, and it's not very superhero-y. It's more down to earth. However, it is my favorite. And I kind of like the more super heroic-y type stuff too. It's just that movie was so freaking well done, and all the performances are great. Christian Bale's one of my favorite actors, and Christopher Nolan. I mean, has he ever made a bad movie or a bad movie? He's never made a bad movie. Some movies were just not as good as others, but it was great. The Dark Knight is my favorite out of that trilogy. If I had to pick a true superhero-y movie, I'd have to really sit and think on it. However, off the top of my head, I'm going to say Superman 2, because it was, if you go back and check out the Superman episode, and if you don't want to sit and watch it again, watch it as a podcast, listen to it in your car, on the train, or ride to work, or whatever. Put it on in your kitchen as you're making dinner, sweeping the floors. That's how I listen to half of these things anyway. Superman 2 is great, classic super heroics from the one and only greatest superhero of all time, not Superman, Christopher Reeve, the greatest inspiration, even as a person, to us all. Off the top of my head, that is. Let's see. It's none of the X-Men movies. Infinity War left a sour taste in my mouth, but it was probably so genius and great in the way they executed that movie. That movie was a feat among feats, so that comes to mind. I'd have to say my favorite Marvel movie, though, that's not like an Avenger-y type movie, was probably Civil War and Winter Soldier, are kind of in a tie. It like depends on, like, Monday it's Civil War, Tuesday it's Winter Soldier, and we're gonna keep it at that. This is something I'd really have to think on. Maybe in a future episode of Red Cup Review will be like our favorite movies, definitive favorite movies of all time, and I'll be able to do that then. Okay, it's okay to have diversity, but I wouldn't want to see Michael Jordan movie with a white actor. I get it. Hey, TMNT are now iguanas. No one will know. Yeah, I'm going to be doing that's another one of the reviews coming soon. Playmates sent me a box of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys. So I'll be doing a review on that. That's coming soon. And, Captain Awesome Grayson will be joining me for that one as well. So he'll be making his appearance back on the Red Cup review after a very long absence. Let's see. What worst superhero movie you like? The worst superhero movie that I like? Wow, I never thought of that. Like a terrible superhero movie that I like, Meteor Man. There you go. My wife knows me, hook, line, and sinker. Meteor Man is my favorite bad superhero movie, and it has every freaking actor in it too. Yeah, it's got Bill Cosby in it, and he's hilarious in it. Whatever, we know. It also has James Earl Jones. He's in it. It's just funny as hell. Let's see. Favorite superhero movie: Civil War, Infinity War, honorable mention. Yes. Oh, how about you guys say what your favorite movies are? I'm just here to say, like, hey, okay, I'll answer it. You guys should be talking amongst yourselves and answering too. Again, we're all a family here. I like Daredevil. I like Daredevil too. I like Daredevil the extended cut. The regular version of Daredevil ain't all that great, but the extended cut is really freaking awesome. Let me try to unplug this because I don't think that for some reason there's a scratching noise coming. If you guys hear that noise on my end, I don't know what the hell that is. So for some reason there's some kind of crazy noise coming out of my laptop right now. Hopefully it's not going to burn out. Let's see. You have very good different opinions. So I have to ask, what were your thoughts on B versus S? Okay. I actually liked B versus S. When I first saw it, I loved it. I didn't love it. I was very, very satisfied with it, but I didn't love it. I loved Ben. I thought Ben Affleck played the best Batman, like Batman in that movie. Like watching him just bust heads while he was in the costume, he was great. Henry Cavill didn't have enough lines. The extended version of BVS is the version you have to see because we got we got gypped in the movie theater itself. I thought that there was a terrible choice for Lex Luthor. I thought that was a complete waste. They should have went with Bryan Cranston or somebody else. I did not like his take on Lex Luthor. The beginning of the movie is fantastic with the buildings coming down and Batman trying to figure stuff out and save people in the street and all that as Bruce Wayne. Fantastic stuff. All the fight scenes were friggin' amazing. But a movie's not just fight scenes. It's also acting. It's also pacing. If you can't give me a concise movie in 2 hours, 2 hours and 10 minutes, then you failed as a director. And that director really loves giving us a whole lot of moments with a lot of nonsense in between. So unfortunately, BVS went from being an A- to me to probably a C, right around a C. I can't give it a D. I liked it too much. The action sequences were some of my favorite in any freaking movie. Every fight scene in that movie, to me, is better than almost every other fight scene in any other superhero movie. However, a movie is not just the sum of its action sequences. Insert Transformer movie here, which they're all terrible. Extended version was much better to watch. Yes. Okay. Dream movie you want to see? I have a few. Dream movie I want to see. Damn you guys. Dream movie. What's a dream movie I would want to see? How about The Adventures of Ford Fairlane Part 2? With a 66-year-old Dice cracking jokes once again.
Dream Team Part 2?
Not Dream Team Part 2. Well, we're not getting a sequel to They Live because Roddy Piper has passed away. Let's see. A dream superhero movie?
Maybe a Star Wars where they would have just reunited the original cast right away before they croaked.
Yeah, like a Star Wars movie where the original cast was actually able to unite and go on a solo adventure on their own before having to pass the torch. That would have been nice. I feel in my heart of hearts, not to harken back onto Star Wars, but I feel as though the prequels should have never happened, and that these movies that we're getting now should have been where the prequels were. So these stories should have been told back then. Maybe not the stories we're getting now, but the actors. We should have got the further adventures of Luke and Leia and Han back in 99 to 2005. And now we should be getting them passing the torch. Personal opinion, mileage may vary. Terminator versus Predator, RoboCop versus Terminator, AVP, the comic made into a movie. The comic was way better than the movie. First half hour BVS was really good. After that, it was all downhill. I walked out very disappointed. Yes, a lot of people did. Dark Empire movie would be nice. Yes, it would be. A movie. How about a Red Sun? How about a Superman Red Sun movie? That's what I would like to see. I would like to see DC, if they're going to get away from the shared universe, start doing their Elseworld stories. Give me I don't like Batman Beyond, but give me like the end of Michael Keaton's Batman where he passes the torch on to the Batman Beyond in that world. I would like to see a Tim Burton Batman Beyond with Michael Keaton passing on the torch. That would be cool. I would like to see a Red Sun story. That would be great. I would like to see what are the Elseworld story? All these like cartoon movies that they're coming out with, I would like to see in like live action form, like the Gotham by Gaslight and stuff like that. That would be cool. I like the idea of Elseworlds and multiverses and all that other stuff. I would like to see a JSA movie. I would like to see. Here's two movies I would like to see. I would like to see 2 period piece movies, a JSA movie with all the original JSA characters and how they were fighting crime back in the 1940s, 30s, and 40s, and keep it like a time period piece, almost like remember in the Watchmen movie they had the Minutemen. Give me like a Minutemen movie, but give me the JSA characters because those are some of my favorite characters in comics. Also, what I would like to see, I would like to see a Batman noir movie. I would like to see a period piece Batman movie, Batman taking place in the 1940s bootlegger era, where Batman doesn't have any of these modern gadgets. He's driving the old Oldsmobile with the big bat face on the front, and he's got like his year one outfit on, and it's very Batman the animated series like, and all the buildings of Gotham is very gothic-y looking the way it is in the animated series, but all the villains have a very crime noir twist to them. And you get a lot of internal monologue in Batman's head. So as he's busting people's heads, you hear him talking to himself like maybe like this music, da, 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 and then the like a big flashbang grenade goes off, and Gordon's people are rushing the door, and Batman's got to take the guys out, and he's like, "There are 3 villains on this floor, and how do I take them out? Okay, one guy, batarang to the arm, disable him. Take this out guy this way, and then maybe he gets shot, and he's like, ribs broken, have to move on." And then he makes his escape. I'd like to see a crime noir kind of inside of Batman's head type of movie. I think that would be epic and a very cool way to do something different that we haven't seen before. Alex Ross style. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a freaking wish and a half. Anything Alex Ross does is gold. This is one of your best episodes. Very interesting. Thumbs up. A good Ghost Rider movie. Yeah. Well, there's hopeful thinking. They already came out with 2 of those, and that went right down the tubes too.
Superman movie.
Oh, well, okay, there you go. Let's rewind the clocks 20 years and get the Nicolas Cage Superman movie that never came out, so we could actually fast forward the clocks then again back to this moment right now.
They just released crap photos when he wasn't
where we can talk about how bad that movie would have been, and we would have been laughing about it as well. Okay, a good TV Batman show with Batman and different artists. Yes. Okay, so check it out. There's something in the works. Red Cup Review is going to be making an appearance, we hope, in another review, not a regular YouTube reviewer. There's a page I want everybody to go and check out on Facebook called the Unofficial Michael Keaton Academy of Getting Nuts. That's the Unofficial Michael Keaton Academy of Getting Nuts. They have a review coming out of Batman Forever. And that's all I could say so far. They have a Batman Forever. It's a Michael Keaton Batman fan page where they come out with the most hilarious memes. And they have a review of Batman Forever coming out. So keep an eye out for that. And, I'll see you there. Hopefully. We'll see. Legends of the Dark Knight would be okay. So it was 11/11. We all made our wishes. 11/11, make a wish. We all made our comic book wishes. So we're going to be closing the episode down. I'm not going to end it just yet, but we're going to start winding it down. And I'm going to wind it down by showing you guys what I'm going to be doing for my next review. My next review is going to be a very short review, probably maybe 4 or 5 minutes long at the most. And it's going to be on CGC and or regular comic book wall frames. Now, for those of you that have man caves or have favorite comic books or just love covers, you have CGCs and you want to display them in your man cave or your bedroom or whatever, but you just can't find the right frame for them, there's a place called the Collector's Resource. collectorsresource.com that sent me some of their comic frames. I'm going to be doing a review on them. I'm going to show you a little sneak peek right now of what they actually look like. And over the next few weeks, I'm going to be opening the show with a different comic book of my CGC comics slid into one of these frames, and we're going to talk about the comic. It's going to be like comic of the week that we talk about. We'll be launching that for the next, I think, 7 or 8 weeks. We'll be doing that in a row. However, here's a quick little sneak peek. Here is the CGC frame. Okay, and this is the Captain America No More I'm not going to be talking about this because this may make an appearance on next week's episode. And yes, here's a quick up close look. And that is Joe Simon's signature on that. And yes, it is in a 9.8. And look at how this floats in there. Look at how that floats. When you put this thing in there, it makes the comic look like it's floating. So that is very, very cool. And it's a nice wood frame. It's got a nice back to it. You can see the comic on the back, and it even has a little area for you to kind of, put the nail on the wall and hang it up. So that's their CGC frames. I'm going to be doing a review on that. And they also sent me a comic book frame. So for those of you that don't want CGC and just want to have up old comics that you think look cool, maybe you got a bunch of old comics sitting in mom's attic, and you're like, you know what, let me bust a few of these out. Oh, I like this cover. Oh, I like that. These are some of my favorite covers. Let me get some frames and slap this up on my wall for some nice comic art. This is what it looks like inside the frame, just the comic book itself. It's got a nice little black back there with the two little nubs, and it's just like the CGC frame.
It comes with already the bracket to hang it. You don't have to put it in.
Yes, there is no bracket to hang it. And yes, that is Jim Lee's signature on this comic, but it is not CGC'd. What? Yeah, there's a bracket on the back.
Oh, that's good.
So that is, Jim Lee's signature, although I'm not going to send this into CGC because they weren't there to witness it, and we all know how they feel about not witnessing. This is one of my favorite comic covers. I know this is one of Frank Castle's favorite comic covers. Frankie Fearless, rather. He joins us once in a while, too. So there you go. That's what it'll look like on your wall. And it's not too thick, so it's not going to be sticking out of your wall and kind of hanging forward. But I'm not going to be endorsing these guys just yet. TheCollectorsResource.com, go and check them out. I'm not going to endorse it just yet because I didn't quite review it just yet. However, that was a sneak peek, and that's going to be coming this week. And then next week, we'll be getting into probably the Captain America No More, or maybe something a little bit more Halloween-oriented. And maybe I'll save the Captain America No More for even another episode. So, yes, that was Jim Lee. Lee signature. Yes, it is a Lee signature. However, CGC, if you don't let them see you have it signed, they'll just be like, someone scribbled on the cover. No matter how many certificates of authenticity or pictures you have of the guy actually signing it. I have a picture of me and Jim Lee with that comic, with him signing it. Doesn't matter. They don't care. So I'm just going to keep it as the comic the way it is. Love comic covers. And yes, it is an interesting thing, right? Why decorate your house with random pieces of art or things like that you might not be that sure of? We all know we grew up with comic covers that we like and we love, that share that special bond in our heart with. Captain America No More was a big one for that, but I gotta save some stuff for you guys for other episodes. However, we all have favorite comic covers that come to mind, things that bring us back to our youth, and some of them are just downright friggin' dynamite themselves, and maybe you can't get a poster of it. When the hell are you going to be able to get yourself a poster of a favorite comic cover you like? You just take that comic, even if it's in bad condition, who gives a crap, slap it in a frame, put it up on your wall, it'll look great. And for those of you that are worried about, I don't want to have a wrinkly, old, dirty, creased comic on my wall in a nice frame, I got some news for you. Think about it like this. And these are my final thoughts of the evening. Every time a comic book has a dent or a crease in it, or a fingerprint or some paint rub on it, somebody read that comic. That comic has history. That comic transferred from one person to another. It's made its way around. It's read. It's lived in. It's got memory to it. It wasn't just sitting in a box, alone, dust-free, carefree. Someone sat on a toilet, took a shit, and read that comic, okay? And enjoyed it. And maybe a little kid grabbed it and enjoyed it too. So if you want to put that stuff on your wall, it's not only putting a piece of art on your wall that you really do like. Don't worry if it's creased or damaged. It's a piece of history. Enjoy it for what it is. I'm Rob Banks. This has been the Red Cup Review. I want to thank everybody for joining me this week. I was riding solo. We didn't get that many people in the chat room this week as I would have liked, but the people that are here, you are the Red Cup soldiers. Love you guys. What's up? You have something to say? Yes, they already know. The Halloween episode's coming next week, so come ready to talk about your favorite horror stuff. It's going to be a complete horror episode. We're going to do a little bit of news of the week and then a whole lot of horror stuff. So you'll get your horror fill then. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. Hope to see you guys next week. And please share this. Let your friends know to come in and check this out. I'm posting everywhere on this stuff. A couple of shares do go a long way. Thank you for joining, folks. See you next week.